The hammer struck the anvil with a ringing clang that echoed through the dim cavern beneath New Moscow. Sparks flickered and danced like ghosts, briefly illuminating the face of Ivan Dragunov. His hands, scarred and veined with age, moved with deliberate precision. Each blow shaped the raw steel into a blade that whispered of a forgotten time, a time when Earth was ruled not by fear but by warriors. Outside, the ruins of the city lay under a muted sky, heavy with the dull glow of Zorith patrol ships cruising the stratosphere. The air was thick with silence, broken only by distant mechanical hums and the occasional sharp whistle of a drone. Humanity's heartbeat here was faint, almost extinguished. Ivan paused, wiping sweat and soot from his brow. His gaze hardened as he stared at the blade, a perfect balance of sharp edges and tempered strength. "Not just a weapon," he muttered. "A legacy." A soft knock interrupted the quiet. Ivan didn't look up, but his grip on the hammer tightened. "Come in," he called, voice rough but steady. The door creaked open, revealing a young woman in worn combat gear. Her eyes were sharp, restless, a fire barely contained. "Commander Dragunov," she said, stepping inside. "They say the Old One still breathes. We need you." Ivan set the hammer down, facing her fully. "I am no one's commander anymore," he replied. "The war is over. The Empire has crushed what was left of us." She shook her head. "They think we're broken. They think Earth's spirit is dead. But you," she hesitated, searching his face, "you remind us that it's not." He studied her silently. In her eyes he saw the same stubborn hope that refused to die in him. Yet the weight of years and countless losses pressed down like a stone in his chest. "Why come to me?" Ivan asked quietly. "There are others younger, faster, more useful. Because they follow legends, not just tactics," she said. "Because when the Zorith see you walk again, they'll remember what it means to face a real warrior." Ivan's jaw clenched. The Zorith. Alien overlords who had stripped humanity of pride and freedom. Their towering forms, cold eyes, and psychic dominance had turned Earth into a prison. Yet no one could deny the whispers among the stars. Earth's warriors once shaped legends that rivaled the Dominion itself. He looked around his forge, at the simple tools and the blade half finished. "I am old," he said. "This body betrays me now." "But your spirit?" she challenged. "That's why we need you." The room fell silent except for the steady drip of molten metal cooling nearby. Ivan's mind raced through memories, battles won, comrades lost, ideals shattered by defeat. Yet beneath the pain was a stubborn ember. Finally, he nodded slowly. "I will walk again," he said, voice low but certain. "But on my terms." Outside the forge, the world was changing. The Zorith Dominion's grip tightened with every passing day. Their elite troops marched through shattered streets, symbols of oppression and reminders of human fragility. Propaganda broadcast from towering spires told a single message: submission was survival. Resistance was futile. But beneath the surface, pockets of defiance stirred like embers waiting to ignite. Ivan met with the resistance leaders in a hidden chamber carved deep into the subway tunnels. Flickering hollow maps showed the extent of alien fortifications and patrol routes. Young faces filled with determination but lacking the hard-earned wisdom Ivan carried. One man, Pavel, a sharp-eyed tactician, broke the silence. "The Dominion believes we are weak, disorganized, broken beyond repair. They don't know the Old One lives among us." Ivan's gaze swept the room. "Fighting without discipline is death. We must reclaim more than ground. We must reclaim our honor. The Dominion fights with weapons and psychic power. We fight with steel, strategy, and spirit." A young woman, Lena, nodded eagerly. "Then teach us, Ivan. Show us how to be warriors again." The old commander allowed a rare smile. "Good. But first we train. And we prepare. This war will not be won with hope alone." Meanwhile, in the cold void of space, aboard the Zorith warship Vanguard, Supreme Overseer Zal observed Earth through layered view screens. His eyes, sharp and unreadable, reflected the blue-green orbs spinning silently below. "Reports say resistance activity is increasing," his lieutenant informed him. An old human, called the Old One, has emerged as a leader. Zal's lips curved into a thin, cruel smile. The humans cling to their myths. It is laughable. Their kind is broken. We will crush this ember before it becomes a flame. Orders, Overseer? Deploy the Shadow Legion. Hunt down the Old One and his followers. Leave no sanctuary. Let Earth remember the cost of rebellion. Back underground, Ivan paced the cramped room where the Resistance planned their next move. They think we are shadows to be swept away, he said quietly, but shadows can blind the eyes of the arrogant. He lifted the sword he had forged earlier. This is more than metal. It is a symbol. When they see it raised again in battle, they will remember why Earth once stood unbowed. Lena stepped forward, her voice steady. Then let us be ready. For the Old One walks again. Ivan's eyes gleamed. For the first time in years, he felt the stirrings of something long buried, not just hope, but the return of a warrior's fire. Outside, the night held its breath. The war was far from over. The Resistance base was carved deep beneath the skeletal remains of New Moscow's collapsed subway. Flickering lights cast long shadows over concrete walls, graffiti, remnants of a freer past, still faintly visible beneath layers of grime. The air smelled of damp metal and burnt circuits. Here, the old world's ruins were repurposed as the cradle of Earth's last hope. Ivan Dragunov moved through the crowded space with a measured step, his presence commanding silent respect. Around him, young fighters gathered, lean, restless, their eyes bright with untested courage. They wore scavenged armor, a patchwork of human ingenuity and alien tech reverse engineered from Zorith gear. Enough talk, Ivan said, his voice gravelly but steady. Weapons in hand. Form up. The room shifted as the fighters organized under his gaze. They were eager but raw, their movements lacking the polish of true warriors. Ivan's hand rose, halting them. Discipline. A soldier's strength comes from control, not just speed. He moved among them, adjusting grips, correcting stances. This, he said, gripping the stock of an assault rifle retrofitted with ancient bayonet blades, is not just a tool. It's an extension of your will. You must master it. Pavel, a lanky man barely in his 20s, stepped forward. Commander, we've adapted some of the Zorith tech for our use. Energy shields, bioenhancers. Ivan cut him off. Technology without purpose is noise. The machine fights only as well as the hand that wields it. He fixed Pavel with a hard look. You trust your tech more than your instincts. That will get you killed. Lena, ever the mediator, raised a hand. We need both, Ivan. The Zorith fight with tech and psi. We can't ignore that. Ivan nodded slowly. Agreed. But never forget, our greatest weapon is our resolve. A machine can break. A man can break. But a spirit unyielding? That endures. The group's attention sharpened. They hung on his words. Far above, the Vanguard drifted silently in orbit, a sleek monolith of alien design. Zal paced the command deck, every step precise, every glance cold. He paused before a tactical display showing Earth's surface riddled with rebel activity. Reports from the Shadow Legion, his lieutenant said, voice clipped, confirmed the Resistance has rallied under the Old One's banner. They struck a supply convoy yesterday. Zal's eyes narrowed. A distraction, nothing more. They cannot hope to challenge us openly. He touched the screen, zooming in on a cluster of rebels entrenched in the city's ruins. The Old One is a relic. His age betrays him. The lieutenant continued. But his presence inspires. We must act swiftly. Zal's expression hardened. Then we remove the relic before he becomes a beacon. Back underground, Ivan convened a strategy meeting. Around the battered holotable, the flickering map displayed red zones, Zorith garrisons, supply routes, patrol corridors. We hit their weapons depot, Ivan said, pointing. Located here, beneath the old industrial sector. Destroying it will cripple their firepower and buy us time. Pavel frowned. A direct assault? Their defenses are heavy. Ivan smiled grimly. Not an assault. A strike in the shadows. Stealth, sabotage, precision. Lena leaned forward. Our new fighters are ready. But we need training. To move like ghosts, to strike and vanish. Ivan's eyes gleamed. Then we train. Days passed in relentless drills. Ivan pushed the fighters harder than ever. He taught them how to move silently through broken streets, how to read the wind and the enemy's rhythm, how to fight not just with weapons, but with mind and body united. One evening, Ivan pulled Pavel aside. Your mind races, but your body hesitates. You think too much. Pavel looked down. I want to do right by the cause. Ivan's gaze softened briefly. Good intentions mean little in battle. Trust your training. Trust your comrades. You cannot fight alone. Later, Lena approached Ivan during a break. You carry the weight of all your battles. But we need you whole. Ivan shook his head. This old frame is a cage. But the mind, the spirit, that still flies free. She studied him for a moment. Then teach us to fly, old one. The night before the mission, the resistance gathered in whispered anticipation. Ivan addressed them, voice low but fierce. Tomorrow, we remind the Dominion who we are. This is not just a raid. It is a message. He paused, scanning their faces, lit by the glow of worn lamps. When you strike, remember, fear is the alien's greatest weapon. Show none of it. Strike hard, strike true, and vanish before they know what hit them. Lena stepped forward, gripping Ivan's arm. We believe in you. Ivan nodded. Then let us be the storm they never saw coming. Meanwhile, aboard Vanguard, Zal prepared his forces. His voice was ice. The old one's defiance breeds rebellion. We will snuff it out. He gestured toward a hollow projection of Earth's surface. Send the Shadow Legion. Find him. End this. His soldiers bowed, then vanished into the corridors. A lethal hunt was underway. The dawn of the mission was a muted one, cloaked in fog and silence. Ivan led his team through the labyrinth of crumbled buildings and shattered streets, each step deliberate, every breath measured. The depot loomed ahead, a fortress of steel and alien tech. Guards patrolled with mechanical precision, unaware of the storm closing in. Ivan motioned the fighters into position. Stay sharp. Move as one. They slipped through shadows, disabling cameras and sensors with practiced hands. The team reached the depot's core, planting charges beneath crates of energy munitions. Suddenly, a patrol rounded a corner. A young fighter froze, but Ivan's whispered command cut through the tension. Breathe. Focus. The guards passed, oblivious. Ivan's steady hand triggered the final sequence. The charges ignited, a controlled explosion tearing through the depot's armory. Flames licked the sky, alarms blaring. Retreat! Ivan ordered. They melted back into the ruins, evading the frantic response of Zorith troops. The mission was a success, but the reprieve was brief. Hours later, back in their hideout, Ivan watched the fires burn on the horizon. The Zorith retaliation was inevitable. Lena approached quietly. They'll strike back harder. Ivan nodded. They must. That means we have shaken their confidence. Pavel swallowed hard. What now? Ivan's eyes darkened. We prepare. For this is only the beginning. Above, Zal's voice cut through the warship's cold corridors. Destroy their safe houses. Leave no sanctuary. Let Earth bleed. His smile was cruel, a promise of suffering. But beneath the armor of alien arrogance, the spark Ivan had lit was spreading, defiant, unyielding. Earth's warriors were waking. The night was thick with fog as Ivan Dragunov and his team approached the Zorith weapons depot. Every step was measured, every breath shallow. The air carried a metallic tang, the promise of fire and blood. Years had dulled many senses, but tonight, Ivan's instincts sharpened to a razor's edge. Positions, Ivan whispered, voice a gravelly command. His team melted into the shadows, shapes slipping between rusted containers and broken machinery, ghosts on forgotten ground. Lena crouched beside him, eyes scanning the patrol route. 2 guards ahead, armed with pulse rifles and scanners. We have 20 seconds before their sweep. Ivan nodded, pulling a small device from his belt. Disable their sensors first. Quietly. His fingers worked with deliberate skill, and the guard's scanners flickered and died in sequence. The first guard tilted his head, confused, but didn't raise alarm. The second passed by, unaware of the danger stalking them. Ivan signaled. 2 fighters moved silently, incapacitating the guards with precise strikes. No noise, no struggle. The path cleared. Good, Ivan muttered. Stay sharp. The depot loomed, a fortress of cold steel and alien technology. Within lay munitions vital to the Dominion's grip on Earth. Destroying it would disrupt the balance, even if only briefly. Inside, the hum of machinery pulsed like a heartbeat. Ivan's team spread out, planting explosives with practiced efficiency. The tension was palpable. Every second could bring discovery. Suddenly, a sharp hiss echoed, a warning system triggered. Ivan's gaze snapped to a shadow moving in the corner of his eye. Contact, he hissed, drawing his blade. Zora soldiers, tall and imposing, poured into the chamber, their energy weapons crackling. The ambush was on. Ivan didn't hesitate. Age may have bent his body, but not his spirit. With a swift arc, he felled the first attacker, steel singing against alien armor. Around him, his team engaged fiercely, a whirlwind of coordinated strikes and close-quarters combat. Despite the age in his bones, Ivan moved with a precision honed over decades. Every step was calculated, every strike purposeful. He fought not just with muscle but with memory, of tactics, of timing, of endurance. In the chaos, Pavel found himself cornered. A towering Zorith loomed over him, its weapon charged to lethal. Fear surged. But then Ivan appeared, blade flashing, cutting a path through the enemy. Stay with me, Ivan commanded, gripping Pavel's arm and dragging him to cover. Pavel gasped. I thought I was done. Ivan's eyes, fierce despite the exhaustion, met his. None of us are done until we say we are. That night, the line between youth and experience blurred, not by age, but by shared will to survive. As the last charge detonated, flames erupted, shaking the foundation. The depot burned, a beacon of rebellion in the dark. Ivan's team retreated, slipping through tunnels and debris. But the explosion was a signal, and the Zorith response was swift and brutal. Hours later, Ivan stood before survivors, men, women, children, huddled in the ruins of a bombed-out building. The air was thick with smoke and sorrow. They came for us. A woman whispered, clutching a child. They don't care who dies. Ivan's voice was steady, resolute. They want to break us. To crush our will. But this, he gestured to the gathered, this is why we fight. Lena stepped forward. We're not just a resistance. We're the spark that will light the fire. A murmur of agreement rose. Ivan looked to the horizon, where distant fires still burned. The Old One walks again, someone said quietly. Ivan felt a strange mix of pride and burden. He was more than a man now, he was a symbol. Meanwhile, aboard Vanguard, Supreme Overseer Zal watched the news feeds of destruction. His face was a mask of contempt. They strike like shadows, but we will bring daylight, he declared to his officers. Shall we escalate? Asked the lieutenant. Zal's eyes narrowed. They will learn pain. We will hunt them relentlessly. He paused, voice dropping. The Old One is dangerous. Capture or kill him. No mistakes. Back underground, Ivan convened his closest commanders. We've won a battle, but the war deepens, he said. The Dominion will retaliate with cruelty. We must be ready. Lena looked concerned. Safe houses have been targeted. We lost people tonight. Ivan's jaw tightened. Sacrifice is the cost of freedom. Pavel, bruised but determined, spoke. They fear us. That means we are no longer invisible. Good, Ivan said quietly. We will be the thunder they cannot ignore. Days later, rumors of Ivan's return spread through the underground networks. His legend grew, weaving through whispered tales and stolen broadcasts. You've returned. an older fighter said, gripping Ivan's shoulder. We thought Earth's warriors were gone. Ivan met his gaze. Not gone. Sleeping. He glanced around at the new generation, hungry, defiant, ready. The old one walks again. Ivan repeated, a promise as much as a warning. Outside, the city remained shrouded in war's shadow, but something fundamental had shifted. The alien oppressors no longer walked unchallenged. Ivan's blade was more than steel, it was a call to arms. A reminder that Earth's heart still beat fierce beneath the scars. The age of warriors had returned. The ruined city center was a jagged scar against the sky, twisted steel and shattered glass littering the battlefield. Smoke curled from smoldering fires, and distant explosions echoed like thunder across the broken streets of New Moscow. This was the final stand, the moment when Earth's fate would be decided. Ivan Dragunov stood at the forefront of the resistance, his weathered frame cloaked in battered armor, a sword strapped across his back. Around him, fighters, young and old, readied themselves, eyes fierce, hearts resolute. The Dominion will throw everything they have at us, Ivan said, voice carrying over the restless crowd. But they do not understand one thing: this is our home, and we will not surrender it. Lena stepped beside him, her gaze sharp. They've brought reinforcements, shadow troopers, Psi warriors. The odds aren't in our favor. Ivan nodded, his face carved by years of battle. Good. Then they will learn what it means to face warriors who refuse to die. Above, in the gray sky, Zorith dropships disgorged elite troops. Their armor gleamed with deadly precision, weapons humming with lethal energy. Supreme Overseer Zal descended among them, tall and imposing, his presence a dark storm. He surveyed the battlefield with icy detachment. The Old One and his ragtag army dare defy us still, Zal said coldly. Their stubbornness is impressive, but meaningless. His voice was a razor's edge, cutting through the tension. Crush them. Leave no trace. The battle erupted with brutal violence. Pulse lasers seared the air, echoing gunfire mingled with the clash of blades. Ivan moved through the chaos like a force of nature, calm, precise, relentless. A Zorith Psi warrior charged, eyes glowing with deadly power. Ivan met him head-on, blade flashing. The alien unleashed a psychic blast, but Ivan's focus was iron. He deflected the attack, closing the distance and striking with measured fury. Nearby, Pavel fought with newfound confidence, covering comrades and cutting down enemies with a mixture of firepower and fierce determination. Lena coordinated the fighters, directing them to hold the line and exploit openings. As the battle raged, Ivan found himself face to face with Zal. The air between them crackled, not just with the energy of weapons but with opposing wills. Zal smiled thinly. You are but a shadow of what you once were, human. Ivan's reply was a steady blade thrust, forcing Zal back. A shadow can still kill. Their duel was fierce, a clash of strength and strategy, of ancient skill against alien power. Zal's superior technology met Ivan's experience, an unbreakable spirit. The fight drew the attention of both armies. Around them, the tide of battle shifted. Ivan's comrades fought with renewed vigor, inspired by their leader's defiance. But age and wear began to show. Ivan's movements slowed, wounds bled, and exhaustion weighed heavily. Zal seized the moment, pressing the attack. You cannot win, Zal hissed. Your species is destined to fall. Ivan's breath was ragged, but his eyes burned bright. We fall only to rise. With a final, desperate surge, Ivan disarmed Zal, forcing him to the ground. The moment hung suspended, victory within reach. Suddenly, from the smoke, reinforcements arrived, Zorith's shock troops, overwhelming Ivan's position. Outnumbered, wounded, Ivan knew the fight was lost. He gave a sharp command to Lena and Pavel. Retreat. Take the others. I will hold them here. No! Lena protested, eyes wide with fear. It's the only way, Ivan said, voice firm. If I fall here, the fight continues without me. Reluctantly, they obeyed, dragging the injured away as Ivan turned back to face the enemy alone. The Zora swarmed, But Ivan fought on with desperate fury, each strike a testament to Earth's unyielding spirit. Even as his strength waned, his resolve never faltered. A final blow struck him down, but the impact was not defeat, it was a spark. His sacrifice gave the resistance the chance to escape, to regroup, and to carry the fight beyond this day. In the quiet aftermath, Lena and Pavel gathered survivors. The fire in their leader's eyes had not died, it had been passed on. "We will carry his legacy," Lena vowed. "The Old One's spirit walks with us all." Pavel nodded, eyes fierce. Earth's warriors never truly fade. Far above, Zal stood alone, fury and respect battling within him. He had underestimated the human spirit, and that mistake would haunt the Dominion. "We will meet again," Zal promised, voice low and bitter. "And next time, the shadows will fall." The city lay in ruins, but in the hearts of humanity, a new dawn was rising. Ivan Dragunov's sacrifice was not the end, it was the beginning. The Old One had walked again, and Earth's warrior legacy was reborn.